Hey there, and welcome to your favorite independent and PC gaming discussion on the web, aka the Qwertycast. If you're listening to this right now, then you've tuned into episode 7 of our podcast, and we're super excited to have you here. We're making an effort to release bi-weekly episodes for our fans, so strap in for some cool indie news updates, an update on the global game jam in indie pop, and a mystery topic led by me. We will also be doing semi-regular check-ins with our friend @Rolanth while he streams live on Twitch. We'll be queuing him into the discussion whenever you hear this music. There you go. And so when you hear that, we will check in with Joe. But speaking of, let's get to our cast of characters for today. I'm here recording with Dave, aka Flixwad.
Hello.
Steve, aka Captain Beansparrow.
Yo.
And Joe, aka Rolanth.
Hello.
I am your host, Andres, aka Dre Presh on our Discord, and I have a question for the group. What is up? And what is going on with all of you? How is life? How are you guys doing these days?
I guess we're all doing good.
Yeah. I don't have too much to report. I feel like I never do, but I have to buy a new pop filter. That's something that's going up because my cat ate part of my current one.
Oh no.
That's cool. I started watching the new Lego competition series. If no one's seen that yet, it's hosted by Will Arnett as well as a couple other people.
Is it good?
It's so good.
It is very, very
I was
entertaining.
skeptical.
Yeah.
Good.
And then most recently, I've learned that Wawa, some stores of Wawa are now offering burgers and chicken sandwiches. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to eat a burger from Wawa, but also I have eaten plenty of stuff from Wawa. I don't know.
I feel
50-50.
like, have you guys ever eaten the Sheets?
Oh, I have eaten Sheets.
So I
Yes.
feel like Wawa is just slowly stepping its way towards Sheets quality.
Nah. Oh, you feel Sheets is more high quality than Wawa?
No, I feel like Sheets is more low quality. Like everything is just microwavable. Like
True.
they sell burgers and stuff like that, and they just pop it in those ovens that Wawa uses, but they're like way more options. I feel like
I always considered Wawa like a 7-Eleven with like a working deli.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought of them as a deli that just so happened to have other things.
Yeah, see, now I feel like that's the mentality of somebody who considers it to be of a higher quality. It's a deli with a convenience aspect, but I feel like now it's becoming a convenience store with a deli aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember when you used to go to Wawa because that was the nearest place to just get some like rolls. You needed rolls.
Yeah.
Go to Wawa, buy some rolls.
True. I think actually my first trip to Wawa was in college and to try to buy cigarettes as well.
I've never been to a Wawa.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
We don't have them
sad.
down here in the South.
Oh, right.
We don't
It's
have
like,
Sheets either. Like,
You have
girlfriend's
7-Eleven though, right?
yeah, we have 7-Eleven, but they're not the popular down here.
Mhm.
7-Eleven is also just so vastly different. I mean, there's not even like an ordering screen or anything. You just go up to the counter and say,
Right.
has your hot dog been in there for more or less than 12 hours? I don't
Yes.
care what the answer is, but I'd
Yeah.
like to know.
What's the popular one down there, Joe?
Quick Trip.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about those.
Quick Trip and or Racetrack.
I've never actually heard of Racetrack.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Racetrack
Racetrack.
is a fancier Quick Trip.
Okay.
Like they'll have, they have like their own like little kitchen thing where I am about to die. But they have their own like private little kitchen where they'll make you pretty much whatever you want. Like they have a built-in deli. Quick Trip does too, but it's not as good in the face of reality. But also excluding from that, Quick Trip's kind of ghetto and Racetrack kind of isn't.
Okay. Interesting.
There you go. I feel like I've learned something here.
Yeah, this is a very informative podcast.
This is an infocast actually. I think we're getting to that level.
Very
All the
exclusive to
facts
the
and
East
stuff we
Coast,
have.
though.
What's on the East Coast?
Almost all of these stores.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, I don't have any of them out here.
Right. Well, what's out there for you then? What's the popular one on the West?
7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is like where everybody goes because they're literally on like every corner.
Nah. And that's like the only, like, other than I guess bodegas, that's like the only one that's kind of falls into that category.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm from Philly, so like I call them corner stores.
Mhm.
But I mean, there are corner stores every now and then. But every time I go into one, like, there's this place around the corner from me, and they're like, "Oh, we sell fresh smoothies and juices and stuff." I was like, "I'll try it out." It's right around the corner. I don't have to put on pants to get there. So, I walked in and like they just had rotting bananas sitting out, and I was like, I feel like you do sell smoothies, but if it's with these ingredients, I've got to leave.
And I can just imagine the scene playing out that a man comes in full Donald Ducking it with no pants on. It's like, I don't like the quality of your rotten bananas. Orders a smoothie and leaves.
Yeah, and then they're sitting behind the counter questioning whether or not he was their health inspector.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What?
I mean,
Not again.
Pajama pants I had,
Yeah,
but, like
it's
I
not
didn't
good.
need like jeans. I didn't need to dress up to go to this corner store.
Yeah. Pajama pants and a bow tie.
Well, yeah, there was no shirt involved.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Other than life, what are you guys playing any good games recently? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I've been playing Escape from Tarkov.
So good. So good.
It is a lot of fun. It's an indie game, so it aligns perfectly with what we tend to talk about. But it just kind of takes that Battlegrounds PvP that's so popular right now. You get like with PUBG and Call of Duty and all these other games.
With the Utes.
Yeah, but it takes that and then it combines it with a continuous gameplay loop where instead of you requiring to kill everyone and be the last one standing, you can just make your way to an extraction point on the map. And if you get out, you get to keep everything you found while you were there. If you don't, you lose everything. And you kind of build up your own storehouse. You can set up like a shop and sell to other players. It's pretty fun.
Oh, that sounds really cool. And you said that is a new game that just came out?
Well, it's not necessarily new. I think that they've actually been talking about it. There was a Kickstarter like 2 years ago, but I knew that they just went into beta access relatively recently. And so that's when I went and picked it up. It is a little pricey, so compared to some of the stuff that we tend to talk about, this one, I think the base level is $50.
45.
That's what turned
45.
me away from it. Was I just didn't have the money to drop on what was almost a full price game. Not that I don't think it was worth it, just I didn't have it.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that being a thing, especially seeing as like the differences in the levels, because of course there's not just one flat fee. There is different like deluxe and epic and like that kind of stuff. But the highest level is $140 or $130, and it does actually drastically improve your capabilities in the game because they give you this bigger stash that you can take with you. That even if you die, you get to keep anything that's in that. So it like makes it more beneficial to the players who have the money to pay higher.
So, like, kind of a pay-to-win aspect, which doesn't sound great.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's minor, but I think that's also a little bit of a pet peeve of mine is that the difference of we're talking almost $80 gets you essentially 4 extra slots that you have that are permanent, so that no matter what you keep it.
Okay.
But only 4, I mean, it makes a huge difference in the gameplay, but it's also very minor compared to 80 physical I worked for my money dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a great
If you're going to have pay to win, you might as well just go in pay to win. Like, let's do it for real. Like, bucks, give me like a whole trunk of space.
Right. Like what? Joe, are you playing anything new recently?
Outside of EFT, because I've done all quests in 2 days. Help me. I actually just bought Walk-In earlier today, and I'm playing that right now. And this is very interesting to experience.
Awesome. I know that we're gonna definitely be talking about that more on the podcast as well.
Other than that, I've just kind of been playing Star Wars: The Old Republic because I love MMOs.
Nice.
SWTOR,
SWTOR, my favorite game.
And just a reminder, by the way, which I think I did already bring up, but when you hear your music cue, we will jump in to surprise everyone and the viewers with whatever you're doing on your Twitch stream. Which is it just at Rolenth?
Yeah,
on Twitch?
Rolenth.
There you go. How about you, Flixwad? What's going on?
I have been playing a few games,
Mhm.
mostly because I have been like exploring what games I'm now capable of playing on my mobile phone, which we'll get into more later. But
Right.
so I played a little bit of Darksiders Genesis earlier in the week, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't remember why I convinced myself to buy that at the time. I played a little bit of Stone Shard, fairly new game that came out.
Mhm.
Like dungeon crawler. I believe we determined rogue light in the last episode, and then I spent over an hour making a character in Divinity Original Sin 2. So uh, didn't really play that game.
Yeah.
But I definitely made a character for a long time, and then
Was there just that much customizability?
no,
Yeah.
I'm just that indecisive.
Isn't that the truth? I feel that so much.
Mhm.
and then on my phone, a mobile game I've been playing is called Vampires Fall Origins, which is a Diablo-like action RPG where you are a vampire.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's as much as I want to give on what it is, because if that doesn't sell you on it, then the gameplay is going to be kind of like, seen this before, don't need to go and play it. But it is free on mobile, so if you have no mobile game to play, then maybe that's compelling enough for you to get it. I don't know.
Is it like just a survival as a vampire game sort of thing?
No, because like if you die, you just respawn back in town. I think there's like
Right.
maybe either an experience or a gold penalty, but it's so minor that
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like, why did they bother putting a penalty in the first place?
Right. They're just
So
like, it needs to be there maybe.
yeah, they're like, hey, don't die, but if you do, don't worry about it, man. We all struggle.
We all struggle. We're all vampires here. No worries.
Stuff happens.
I haven't been playing it super recently, but I did want to bring up Enter the Gungeon.
Enter
which-
the Gungeon.
Have we talked about this before?
I don't think we have, but I've been playing. Well, not recently, but I have also played it on the Switch.
Yes, I have it on the Switch as well. And I think it was like for like a good year, like all last year, I was obsessed with Enter the Gungeon just because it was like, it's such a good roguelite.
Roguelite. I think it's like a bullet hell rogue. So that's like
Yes.
the hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so, I just love all of the creative details of that game. Like all of the things about how like your enemies are bullets and like your guns shoot guns and those bullets shoot bullets. Like it's all the little combinations of guns and like there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of things that you can equip and play with in that game. And I'm not even the kind of person that can get that good at Enter the Gungeon because there's so much like deeper stuff for people who are just perfect dodgers and perfect fucking shooters and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the reason I want to also bring it up was because they recently came out with two kind of extensions of themselves of Enter the Gungeon, which was they came out with an arcade cabinet that is available physically at places now. So they have an arcade cabinet for Enter the Gun or for a different type of Enter the Gungeon. So it's like, I think it's like a classic shooter, like a classic arcade shooter. And then they also have Exit the Dungeon or the Gungeon now, which is available unfortunately only on Apple Arcade, but it is so it's like a mobile game that you can play. Speaking of mobile, and I think you're just exiting the Gungeons. You're like dodging and shooting upwards.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was looking at some stuff on their Twitter because they have a Twitter that I actually just followed with our QWERTYcast Twitter. Um, and they were talking about how on January 7th they said that they surpassed 3 million copies sold for Enter the Gungeon.
Oh
So
wow.
obviously very very popular game. Oh, House of the Gun Dead is the name of the arcade
House
style
of
shooter.
the Gun Dead.
So good. And Enter the Gungeon physical release in Japan coming April 23rd. So it looks like they have a lot of stuff going on, and people have not gotten sick of the game. And their subreddit is also actively updating, and people talking on that too.
Very nice.
I think this is a Devolver Digital published them.
Oh, okay. So now
Yeah.
Devolver Digital just moved in with Microsoft, right? So they are now considered an Xbox studio.
Oh shit! Does that mean they're not
Oh,
indie anymore?
They are no
yeah.
longer indie.
Oh no! Well, I mean, congratulations though, right?
Yeah, congrats to them. But I mean, everything you just talked about now is negated because.
Yeah, right. Gary, put it all out quick.
Well, I mean, it is from an indie team to begin with, and I'm sure that
Yes.
even though they have a larger amount of money, they're probably sticking with their original. So for at least a short period of time, I would still consider the majority of the stuff they come out with to be indie.
Yeah. So
Right.
now have they hit our famous two double A title?
Double A, yeah.
Yeah, they're now double A title. Um, if does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up?
That's it for games that I've been playing, honestly. Like I don't get a whole lot of time in between like work
Life.
and everything to jump
Mhm.
down for long sessions. So
Very
Vampire's
fair.
Fall has been great for me because it's just like, oh, I have like an hour before bed and I already have my phone with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Nice.
good concept.
Oh, that sounds like the cue for indie news then. So since we're here, you might as well just keep talking about the gaming news that you have prepared, FlickSwad.
All right, that is great because I have quite a lot to talk about.
True.
The number one thing we've got here, we've got Gears of War 5 director left the Coalition, which is Microsoft's studio that they created to handle Gears of War after they purchased it from Epic Games. And he now joined Blizzard to oversee Diablo. I think he is the executive director of Diablo 4. Previously, when Gears of War 5 came out, apparently it got some acclaim for being a lot more open world and having better pacing than a lot of the more recent installments in the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is exactly what Blizzard is hoping to do with Diablo 4. I think they want to give that pacing and that story and that open world feel to it
Mm-hmm.
while pulling from Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 to hopefully make everybody happy.
That sounds awesome because I have a feeling this is great news for Blizzard. I imagine that whoever he's stepping in place of, whoever got sacked, probably is, was one of the major reasons why they were having such bad publicity around the Diablo franchise. So it sounds
Yeah.
like the decision-making process was pretty easy for them. So hopefully this will make the game a little bit more appealing.
What was
Yeah.
some of that bad publicity?
Just
like
everything
the
around. Yeah, go
mobile
ahead.
announcement.
Well, yeah, that was
happened
terrible.
at BlizzCon.
With Immortal. There was some conceptual ideas that were being announced way in advance. Because honestly, I think we're looking at like a 2021 release for Diablo 4, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2022. David Brevik, who previously, he was very heavily involved with the first and second Diablo games, he tweeted commenting on it and was like, I understand that you guys are excited and you're hearing whispers about Diablo 4, but bear in mind these games oftentimes take several years after we've announced that they're
Yeah.
existing.
And I think that Blizzard getting all hyped up on their own high was just announcing all of this content stuff. And with them being so far out in the development process, it's just the community as a whole basically has said, like, give us something tangible before you actually start talking about it, because we know it's not going to be the same.
And that's what the community used to be like, but once they were I guess once they merged with Activision to create Blizzard Activision, I think that some of that Activision mentality of churn and burn
Yeah.
bled over.
Yeah. So this is good. I'm excited.
Yeah. So now that the first point is out, the next thing that I had on my list was PC related, because finally, the 2001 hit Halo Combat Evolved is going to be able to be tested through the Master Chief Collection, along with the full anniversary edition release of it. So they're a month behind schedule on that, but they still plan on having the full game out, which is basically every Halo except for Halo 5. They plan on having all of those playable on PC through 2020 sometime. I don't know how that's going to benefit them, considering they're going against their own Halo Infinite release in holiday 2020, I believe. So we'll see if that strategy plays out well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Next.
Oh, that sounds like Joe's music.
Hello, I'm back from the dead.
Oh, finally. Somebody got this man a defibrillator. What are you playing? What's going on in Twitch?
I am okay, I'm actually gonna die. So I'm playing Vulcan, because that just came out. Vulcan, Walk-In,
Nice.
Witcher, whatever the fuck it's called. This game's actually hard. I didn't expect it to be like this.
What is this game again? It's like a Diablo-esque?
Yeah, it's pretty much if Diablo and Path of Exile had a love child. And
I've been watching your stream.
Oh, right, I can probably pull that up too.
Yeah, I could pull that up. That
I
makes a lot
fought
of sense.
a random just group of trash, and this thing had vocal cords of apparently a god. And every time you're about to die, well, when your health bar goes down, I don't know if it's a buff I had or something, you have like these revive token things. On one of these things, I had to use all three. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh, shit. Is this still your first, like, life, or have you died a bunch already?
I'm still on my technical first life. I haven't actually died. Those, that's a whole fiasco. But, I mean, those revive tokens, I don't know if it's part of the game or it's just a buff that I had. Please die. I hate being trapped in here.
Oh, so now I'm watching along. This does have a very Diablo 3 art style.
And because
One of the things I have... Yeah, good.
Because you're watching right now, what the fuck's the button? That's your map.
I've noticed that everything seems to be a little bit crisper from an art standpoint. Now, that probably is just purely because of the fact that this game is being released, 10 years after Diablo 3?
Roughly.
So, yeah, I mean, everything just seems cleaner, which I do appreciate.
So, what is that button? So, here's this. Just kind of where you put all your points. I got like an extra 20 in this shit somewhere. I don't know. I think it's something I picked up. Then over... Please show. Then here's just all the details. I'm not going to care to read currently.
Oh, wow, yeah. So it's a stat game again. Which, I mean, most of these games tend to lean that way, and it's nice because there's so much customizability that means that there's a lot of opportunities at the end game.
And then if I could find it, I don't remember what button it was. Fuck it, I'll push all the buttons.
There
it is! Then here's the PoE part. And this is bonkers.
Okay, sphere grids.
Yeah, it keeps going. It goes.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, right, I just saw this with Path of Exile.
Okay. I'm seeing how all this stuff links together.
Oh, that's really neat, though. So basically, they've taken what used to be, I think, Ascensions in PoE, and they've added it to the end of the wheel.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Oh, I love that you actually named this Diablo's and PoE's love child.
PoE's like love baby or something.
Yes. All right, well, enjoy playing that. We will check back in with you later.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Oh, bye.
Bye. And back to you, FlickSwad. What was going on? What were we talking about?
So one of my favorite indie franchises has now gotten a third release into early access as of the end of January. I just found out about it. Cook Serve Delicious 3, which I'm emphasizing that way because of how it's actually spelled out with a question mark and then an exclamation at the end of 3.
Oh, nice.
But I'm actually about to go into playing that once we're done recording here. But
right.
It so far it doesn't really look like they've added too much new stuff to it, but I really don't think they need to. I love just how satisfying playing that game is once you're paying attention.
And I'm totally, like I said before, I'm totally down to maybe even play that for our next game on the podcast.
Oh, it'll be pitched. It'll be voted
on. I've always kind of loved like cooking and like serving games. Like I remember a huge bunch of them happening in like Flash game sites, like the ones where it kind of basically mocked, what's that original serving game where you're a bartender and you have to pass the beer down the thing?
Tap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something.
I think I know.
Beer Tapper
like
or whatever.
Yeah, Tapper.
Yeah.
I think it was just what it was called.
Yeah, Tapper.
Tapper. Right. And then all of the ones that kind of just evolved off of that.
Oh yeah, I think we consider that the time management genre.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of games in that genre which are really fun. What was the one that was super popular? Like I think it was on the DS series, Cooking Mama.
Yes.
I was just trying to think of the name for that one too. And then I feel like at some point I probably played like some Barbie serving Flash game. I feel like in my childhood.
So now, what was this game called?
Cook Serve Delicious.
Serve Delicious. I'm gonna have to check that one out. What platform?
It is on PC. I think that they usually end up doing console releases, but I'm not certain about that.
Cool.
I can definitely tell you though that it is on Steam.
Nice.
So easy to get.
Look into that.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Next, we've got the game that was just referred to. Vulcan, Lords of Mayhem, is after a 4-year early access cycle out of early access. It is a full release now. I was hoping, from what I've heard, there's a lot of bugs going on with it in terms of just losing your story progression after 4 years of early access. That would be one of the things I'd hope would be more polished, but I'm sure they're working on it. And then server stability, which as an indie developer, I guess you can't fully account for because you don't know how popular all of a sudden your game might just become. So that I'll give them a pass unless they leave it broken for like a few weeks. Then they're suffering from the same thing that happened to PUBG, I guess.
Wait, so what happened to PUBG?
Oh, just like all of a sudden it got like majorly popular, but the servers were so unstable all the time that it's like, why even bother playing when you can't connect, or when you do connect, you can't see what's going on anyway.
Yeah, I remember playing PUBG, and there was just like 2 or 3 weeks where it was just hell to get into the game. Once you got in, sometimes you get kicked immediately. The planes, if you're familiar with the way PUBG plays, you have to like jump out of a plane. You would get to the end of the plane's run, and anybody still in would get ejected. And if you dropped out with those people, there would be like 20 of the 100 players who had just disconnected from the initial like trying to get into the server. And so you could just run around and punch them all. Like it was bad.
And then you just rack up unfair points.
Yeah, and they were going through server maintenance like 3 times a day. It was hell.
It was kind of like hell.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So let's move on to the next thing, which is
let's not talk about that anymore. It's nonsense.
Yeah. So transition here. Eric Barone, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. Concerned Ape, who is known for Stardew Valley, is apparently working on 2 new projects, both in some way related to Stardew Valley, but hasn't really released any details, and just to that point doesn't really want anybody to get too super excited about him just yet, because he doesn't want like overhype to ruin what is clearly everything that is released is considered a labor of love on the part of a single person developing a full game. So
right.
And
So,
despite
I
that
guess-
fact, he's published. I mean, Stardew Valley is just such a polished, fantastic game.
Right, but because that's like a labor of love type of thing, I guess he doesn't want like overhype to breed unrealistic expectations
This
of
is true.
everything that he
Right.
releases forever.
That makes sense. I
But
mean,
it's gonna
like,
happen
especially.
anyway.
Yeah, obviously.
Which I
But
feel
at
like
least he's
that just reminds me of George R. R. Martin with the Game of Thrones books. It's like, these are sort of a labor of love, so stop expecting them from me.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if anyone else is
The
into that.
human mob wants what it wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
We were talking about, I think, Witchbrook, which is coming out by Cuttlefish, which is the developer that helped him publish.
well, that's the
The publisher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the publisher.
Right.
Which they
I'm trying
helped
to
him publish after he published. They kind of like signed him on.
Okay.
Because he was
Yeah.
through his own site for a little while, and then they just kind of like were like, "Here's some money, get this on our platform."
Yeah. Fair.
Which, I mean, good, because the exposure, I'm sure, helped.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
I don't think that I knew about the game until they were publishing it.
Okay, so I was probably one of the smaller minority of people who just super hyped, waiting for that to come out, following his blog. But yeah, I mean, him actually getting to the final point probably was accelerated due to Cuttlefish, and I think he worked a decent contract with them where he was able to maintain most of his rights, which is good.
Sorry, I'm gonna fix myself. It was actually Chucklefish, not Cuttlefish.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuckle. Duh.
We all just like ran with
Fell
it
in.
too.
Yeah.
I know, right? So sorry.
Chucklefish.
Yes.
But yeah,
I like Cuttlefish better though.
Yeah,
we
right
should
now that I'm
petition
thinking
them
about
to change that.
Yeah, and also come out with a plushie.
Yeah, Cuttlefish.
But that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to see more or hear more details, read more details wherever I end up getting it about whatever is being worked on, because there's not been too much explained about how they're related to Stardew Valley, just that they will be. And I know one of them is only related in that it takes place in the same universe, for whatever that's
Right.
worth.
Remember, Grandpa comes back after year 3.
Wait, does he?
Yeah, they like introduce him as being dead, but he's not.
Yeah. Oh fuck, that's hilarious. Does he I want my property back?
No, actually, I don't remember specifically what it is, but there's like some type of communication cutscene where he like shows back up. I don't remember if he was like in spirit form or reality, but
Is this real life or fantasy? Nice. And then what was your other thing?
Man, we are
What
amazing
was
at
that?
transitions. What was,
I know, right? Oh my god.
So I've got two more topics that I really wanted to
Yes.
get to. Number one is AMD, who everybody who's listening is
right.
probably using something that runs some sort of AMD technology. They have been doing great, competing and like getting themselves out of being looked at as a completely budget brand. In the past year, their stock price has more than doubled, but this story is not about that. It is about the fact that their Radeon RX 5000 series stuff, GPUs, have still been getting a lot of reports of bugs, with I think close to 50% of users in a survey. I cannot remember where the survey was, but I can tell you that my source I'm using for that was PCMag. Said that they had some sort of like issue with the GPU, whether that issue be flickering, crashing, or black screen bugs, which are not preferable. And considering they're like what I was going to build my next PC on, I don't feel confident in doing so until I can hear reports that they're getting closer to fixing those issues or have completely fixed them. So that is that story. A little bit sad.
Oh, nice. We got another Joe Q. Hello, Joe.
We've got a
Oh
joke
boy,
here.
now it's time to complain.
Oh, really?
Oh yes. So, I don't know if you're actually paying attention and watching. There's these little bat fucks in this cave. their actual target box is dinky, and I mean tiny. Like if you're watching,
like to hit them.
If you're watching right now, there's going to be one I'm sitting in front of. So my mouse is on it. I don't care if it hits me. My mouse is on it, and it won't actually register until I go like pretty much where it's standing.
Yeah, I've noticed you have to kind of click on its head in order for you to actually get to it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's even
That's
slightly
ridiculous.
below.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's not. The target is the spot on the ground above where he's flying.
Like his shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe that's an asset issue that they have, where even though it's flying, they're targeting everything on the ground.
Back.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Come here.
Man, God, it looks just so much like Diablo's interface, but like.
I noticed after we got off with the last check-in, you suffered a death.
Yeah, I finally died, and it said either take me back to the closest town, or
last saved point.
Yeah, last save point, which was good, which was in front of this. So luckily they have that same save system like Diablo does. Oh my god!
Oh right, where it's just like you've gotten some sort of significant story update.
Yeah, and the boot.
We were just talking about AMD graphics cards as well. Do you have any thoughts on like what kind of graphics card do you use? And do you have any thoughts on?
So I have a 1060 6GB. I've been trying to buy a new one, but I actually don't have anything AMD. I've been i7 8700. I think this is a video. I don't remember. Not a non-AMD graphics card. Like I've never had AMD in my computers, although they're more cost efficient. But I've been very wary of their
choosing their architecture.
Yeah, I understand it's cheap and all, but I'm like I'm cheaper, so.
Yeah, I think that was what we were discussing, was that they're trying to transition from being the budget company to being the high-end company that they want to be. But, you know, it's always been an issue with them is that the Intel, the NVIDIA versus the AMD on a GPU standpoint tends to be that AMD is trying to push the boundaries, and therefore they have major heat issues typically, as well as other architectural design problems. And then NVIDIA is a refinement. They take the existing technology and just make it better.
Yeah, luckily when their 30 series comes out, all the current 20, the entire 20 series will be dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if I'm looking at Microcenter and open boxes, a 2060, this was based off about 2-3 weeks ago that I actually looked, and right now they're about 300 open box, which that's not terrible. But I'm just like you could put that to I'll put that one extra point there. You could put that to get that shit out of here.
You could put that to what?
It's trying to do two things at once.
Yeah, I just leveled, so I'm trying to put in all my skill points where I need them.
How do people do regular Let's Plays like this? It's so difficult.
Yeah, I know.
I've tried this before.
I feel like, Andres, we weren't even recording. We were just playing Path of Exile, and.
Right.
We just both would stop talking for like 10 minutes at a time.
Exactly. And it's just like, oh, are you still there? It's like, yeah, I'm just doing a thing.
You got to pick less brainy games.
Yeah.
Exactly. Less brainy games. True.
But yeah, he's talking about the cost of the 20 series.
Yeah, 20 series open box right now is $300. And I'm just like, once the 30 officially comes out, then it's just, okay, now they're going to go down and down because people want the 30 series over everything else, which...
Yeah, I felt kind of bad because when I built my rig, I bought the 2060, and then like 2 months later, the Super 20 series came out, and I saw the prices drop at least $50, in some cases $100.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I built mine with a 1060, and I'm so excited to upgrade at some point in time.
Well, yeah, because you're going to jump
this
4
is great
gens
news for me.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I still have the graphics card that this computer came with, and I have
running an Intel HD family chip.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's baby's first Intel.
It's from the DIY kit from from Intel.
I'm pretty sure it's all plastic. It's just like bends and it squishes, and if you push it, it does like a mama kind of noise.
And it costs more money for some reason.
Yeah, right. Just like, motherfucker. All right, cool. Well, thank you for checking in with us, Joe. I think we will jump back into indie news as well. Then.
Okay, be safe, have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, so now for what I consider to be one of the biggest stories, speaking of competitors and processors and all of this wonderful stuff, we did talk about NVIDIA, and they have now got the NVIDIA GeForce Now service out of beta for not sponsored, but please sponsor.
Yeah.
They have an awesome deal right now. I think it's 90 days of their founders service, which is I guess their version of premium. Which just gives you like a few upgrades over the standard service, and then after that for the following year it's only $5 a month, I believe. So the service is a remote server, essentially. Like you're streaming games over the cloud, using one of NVIDIA's randomly stationed computer rooms, essentially. So if you're playing on a not optimal PC, or indeed on your phone, you can play games such as Hollow Knight, Portal 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Darksiders Genesis, as I talked about earlier, and Divinity Original Sin 2. The reason I've been playing such a wide variety of games recently is because I can now just literally open up my phone, launch this service, and as long as I have a good internet connection, play whatever game it is currently supporting, which is where we run into issues. So a bit of background is they have a free model and a founder's model. The free model limits you have to wait in line until a computer opens up on their servers, and you only have an hour-long play session once you connect. On the plus side, this is way cheaper than Google Stadia and is based off of games you currently own in your Steam library. And at one point in time, very shortly, was Blizzard Activision, but now all those titles have been dropped due to some sort of misunderstanding. Yeah, so hopefully they'll come back, but I think it would have been awesome to play Overwatch on my phone. Just saying.
Right.
For some specs, you need 64-bit Windows 7 or higher, a dual-core x86 CPU with 2.0 gigahertz or higher, at least 4 gigabytes of RAM,
Fair.
a GPU with DirectX 9 or higher.
Yeah, which we're up to what? 12?
Or sorry, yeah. And then it recommends for that GeForce 600 or higher.
Yeah, these are all
AMD
baseline.
Radeon HD 3000 or higher, or an Intel HD Graphics 2000 or higher. So not high specs. On phones, it's even funnier, where they say, oh, as long as you've got an Android phone, it's not available on iPhones. But an Android operating system of 5.0 or higher, and at least 2 gigs of memory, you're fine.
Yeah, the
Wow.
low base stats. It's funny because what you have to kind of consider is can you watch a movie in HD? Because essentially, the internet connection is the most important part, and then outside of that, it's just can you actually render a display? But you're not doing anything hard on the graphics because it's not actually generating the visuals. It's just streaming the visuals.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Like, it does not drain your phone battery.
Yeah,
The fact that it's like a technically a stream, I'm surprised that there's not like the problem with game lag, like input lag.
well,
So there is with the Wi-Fi connection. So in order to do Wi-Fi, you have to be on a 5 gigahertz connection or be using one of NVIDIA's compatible. What is it? Help me out here. The things that internet run off of, routers.
Oh.
and modems.
Yeah, so they
Um,
usually have upload requirements, and then there's
Yeah.
a lot of driver specifications. So I know that the technology's gotten a lot stronger, but back when the only company that was really doing this was a company called Shadow, where they would basically set you up with your own computer, but on their server. So you would
Yeah.
like remote log into a different computer, and then that was generating all of the graphics. But you had to have like this USB 3.0 input driver module that would allow it to convert keystrokes and buttons to the remote server computer. It was really strange, but it worked. And I feel like these bigger companies have just gotten that technology down and expanded on it greatly.
What are
Yeah.
the chances that that Shadow company is the same Shadow that made the app that fucked up all that shit in Iowa?
Who knows? I doubt it.
I'm just saying. Just like, no way.
I mean, the name is making me go down the conspiracy theory route. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Shadow.
I love the idea of it.
I know.
Yeah, the
They're just
streaming
like, we didn't
services
do
are going
well
to
with
become
that.
super popular, though. I
Mhm.
mean, Stadia's launch was pretty and I think that it's just because people have their own systems right now. Console is so popular, there's really nothing that's going to be like driving people into that market. But what's going to happen is the PCs eventually will become more dummy-like in the sense that everything's going to be remote server oriented, and consoles will just become too expensive to maintain. And I think you'll start to see a swing back.
I just don't like the idea of like, sure, I own things, but like my computer not being, I don't know, call me old school. Like if my computer can't run it, I'm like a little bit thrown off by it. Obviously the phone aspect of it is what's more important for me. Like again,
Yeah.
the fact that I was able to play Sekiro on my phone and just
Right.
walk around
Yeah.
my house and be like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a switch to the Netflix mentality where the industry that's producing the entertainment is not going to be receiving their money directly from the consumer. They're going to receive their money through a contract with an organization that's distributing it directly to the consumer. So instead of you having to purchase games, you'll have to purchase a subscription service which has the games available. And we're seeing that swing slowly. But
We
it'll
really are in a subscription-based age.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't want it to have the part after that. I want them to get to the subscription part, figure it out first, and then it be fine. I know that we don't live in a utopia, but
Yeah.
the fact now that like if I want to watch everything that is talk worthy, I've got to have
18
Apple
different-
TV
yeah.
Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime,
So many.
and like 12 other services like ABC's, whatever theirs is called.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps just coming out with their own service.
Yeah.
And what will happen is somebody will unify all those services and then pump it straight into your house through something like a fiber optic cable, and then you'll pay. It's just going to constantly switch back and forth.
I know, between cable and cable cutter, cable and cable cutter. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
dumb.
what a world. What a world we
I
live in.
know, right? It's amazing.
The last couple things I wanted to say was just that there are a lot of games that I could not play because they're not supported by the service currently, and they don't have like a good way to browse it. Like I would go onto Steam, look up a game on Steam, and decide, do I want to see if they support this, and then I would search it on the Nvidia app, and it would be like, nah, not found. Sorry. So like, I spent like a couple hours playing around with it, just like, does this game run? No. Does this game run?
So their
No.
interface needs to be updated.
Yes.
Right.
So those are like the main things, really. That, and if you don't have a strong Wi-Fi signal, you're just you're screwed. Like the service is not worth paying any money for. Or alternatively, if you've got like a not optimal for playing current gen games computer, then the service might be worth it for you, especially if you're into competitive shooters, since those seem to be very supported by this service.
Big market money is.
Yeah, and the Founders Edition, at least I know, gives you like the option to set the kind of game you're playing. Like they have something that's optimal for first-person shooter, like competitive shooters, essentially. So So that's cool that they thought about like, oh, the latency for this doesn't have to be as important as the latency for a competitive shooter, or like the frame rate or refresh rate. All of those things I think take into account when you're selecting the type of game that you're going through, which is a neat feature. I just don't have any need to run anything high on my computer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely feels like a lot of elements that you would have to consider for a service like that anyway. So, and it's fairly new, you said, right?
It's been in beta for a while, but it is now, like their regular release is not very, or it is very new. It's not very long standing, but 100% recommend trying it out as long as you're comfortable knowing that you have a good connection from wherever you're going to be playing at. I bought a Wi-Fi repeater because even though my house is not very large, just the couple walls that the Wi-Fi signal has to travel through is enough to mess it up in my own bedroom.
Damn.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if that is what you got for the indie news, then I think we can move over to indie pop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ooh, there it is.
Like it. It's a good intro.
There she comes.
Just popping off.
And Steve will be taking over for us in indie pop.
Yeah, so what I was going to talk about with the indie pop this week, specifically the game jams or the global game jams. A lot of people probably aren't familiar with those. It is a relatively small community, but it's becoming more popular as they continue to do this event. Essentially, all around the world, teams of game developers, and that includes anything from writing to art design to the actual programming and animation. Anybody who has kind of an affiliation with that or wants to have an affiliation with that gets together at some localized regional area, and they get a prompt, and then they work on a brand new video game, and they get 48 hours to actually knock it out and then present what they've come up with in that time frame. So me and a couple of my friends actually went to the game jam. It occurred 2 weeks ago. That's why I wasn't on the last podcast, because I was participating in that. And
nice. We did give you a few call outs.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
The event this, I guess, I don't know if they do it quarterly or half a year. I'll have to double check on that. But the prompt this time around was repair. So, it's broad enough that you could really come up with anything. And my team actually came up with the idea of a kind of like a time management, like we were talking about earlier, where you have to basically take your player and run him around in a circle and fix up pieces of a turret that's being shot at, and the walls of the turret are kind of crumbling down. And if you don't repair it fast enough, then gunshots will come through and kind of attack your player. It was all designed in JavaScript, so it does require a little bit of programming knowledge, but the nice part about this community is if you just want to kind of get into it and you're not very familiar with it, everybody's very helpful and they'll point you in the right direction. But our game was very successful. We actually managed to complete a full game loop. There's still some minor things that we need to adjust to it. The game's called TUNK, which we came up with because one of the members of the team said that that's the sound a cannon makes when it's firing. TUNK.
TUNK. Wait, right. Yeah, because I kept reading the name of it, because I was telling you this, I did play it.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed it a lot. I loved the fast-pacedness of it.
That's awesome.
And it took me a second to figure out what are those? Are those lasers that pierce through the hull?
Well, so it's moving very fast, and so it kind of looks like a laser, but we call it flak, and it's basically just, it kind of looks like little fireballs. It's supposed to represent, like, artillery strike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're getting shot. Now there's a lot of aspects of the game, and with only 48 hours, we're rather impressed with ourselves with what we were able to come up with. But the great part about this is it was an opportunity to kind of hang out with other people who are in the developing field in the indie market. These were not big name developers. This was just people that are local to your community who like the idea of making video games. And I think we ended up, our region developed 12 like publishable games that they actually put up on the Global Game Jam website from the Philadelphia area. So that's pretty substantial just for a 48-hour weekend. We figured 12 brand new indie games, and they were pretty cool. There was some nice games. We went to a showcase afterwards. So if you have a chance, take a look at Global Game Jam's website. There should be an option for the Philadelphia area, and you should be able to see not only our game, but a bunch of other games that were made on that weekend.
That's awesome.
Do you have any shout-outs for the people that you were working with? Sorry to cut you off, Andre.
Yeah, so actually, talking about that, so the two guys that I worked with were Scott and Tyler, which we've actually had on the podcast previously when they were talking about their game Smash Rockets. So that's the same development group that I joined this time around in an actual development capacity. I've worked with them previously from a marketing standpoint. But we're actually considering and moving forward with, and hopefully in one of our future podcasts I'll be able to make the announcement, but we're starting our own LLC, and we're going to develop a true indie game development group. We're going with the team name Hyperfuel Games. So
which they had come up with for Smash Rockets, right?
Yes, yeah. So now we actually have 3 games available through Hyperfuel, Smash Rockets, TUNK, and then the previous jam, Tyler and Scott had worked on a 3D VR game, which I think is like Space Escape or Escape Pod or something along those lines. I'll have to find the actual name later. But eventually we want to wrap all this up into one company, and the game we just made this weekend we're looking to publish on Steam.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, if you ever hear about Global Game Jams, and I'm sure I'll talk about it here on the podcast in the future, go out and join one. It's fun.
Yeah, I remember. I think you Flix had also sent another Game Jam game into the chat, which was the one where you have to jump, but every time you jump, you break a leg, so you only have 2 jumps.
Oh, yeah. I cannot... It might just be called Jump or something like that, but I can't remember the name of it.
And I actually played it, and it was like a lot of fun. It was very clever how they use that, because you jump, and then you like are kind of limping, and there are like certain pads at points where you can like use them to launch yourself, but it is very much like one of those like Celeste games where you have to hit the exact point, or else you're like gonna go too far or too close and hit spikes or something.
Yeah.
And if you use up both of your legs, then you're just dragging yourself across the floor, which is in itself a different type of walking mechanic where you can go under things, or you won't fall through a gap in the floor. You'll crawl over it.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most fascinating things about the whole process, was that, when you talk about these big AAA developers, they're trying to develop games that appease the requirements that the community typically has associated with video games. But in these indie groups, it's just the cleverness of the people doing the development. They're not really marketing it to a specific group of people. They just have an idea and they want to make it. And so you'll see all these games with just crazy mechanics, and I think it's a really good opportunity for the industry to grow.
No, I totally agree. Oh, hey, and I think we got another Joe Q. Joe Q, Roland Q.
I'm in the middle of a boss fight. This is very badly timed.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, it's perfectly timed.
I've been watching him. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in the middle of this.
God.
I mean, it looks like the gameplay is at least warning him of when things are going to occur, but it's not helping.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, with those like lead lines.
I wish it would not tell me.
Gosh. Interesting. That's so cool. I like that. It tells you where the fire's
I don't like that. Also, fuck these fire breathers.
I have this problem where every time I see one of those red circles, I'm like a cat. I get immediately drawn into the center of the circle. I have to see why this is highlighting. Yeah.
Look what I can do. I did check in at one point while we were talking, and I saw you raising your hands.
Yeah.
In accomplishment.
No, not an accomplishment. I died by poison. I thought I was gonna live because it was the last tick. Okay, I need to kill this fuck, but I can't because he's spawning much.
He's spawning so many mobs.
Oh, this looks fun. I want to play it now. This has made me want to play it. Your stream specifically.
Hey.
I was gonna say, Joe, wait till the point where you get to such a high level that when you come back to fight this thing, you just one-shot him.
Boop.
Oh my god, yes.
Fucking
That's
finally.
that's the
All
most
right,
satisfying
set
feeling.
you up.
Oh wow, yeah, no. Oh, you got it. You got it. I believe in you.
Hey, are there any like item gems in this game?
Yes. See?
Okay. Is it like Path of Exile where those gems have some sort of skill, or is that all on the skill tree or skill?
I don't
circle?
actually know yet because I've yet to get a gem. Like I can buy them, but that's useless to me. Only usable melee weapon.
But like you have skills clearly, like
yeah.
magical or otherly
skills.
skills.
Don't care about that. What did I just get? Warpath.
Mm.
Oh, okay, that's the shield charge. I don't actually know as of yet. I'm still kind of working on it. Like there are.
Oh well, I'm seeing it there. So like I see like these unlocks of like certain level cap unlocks.
Yeah. Okay.
And they look like almost like runes from like Diablo 2 built into that one menu.
I can use a pistol. What the fuck?
Oh,
It's
really?
amazing.
That's hilarious.
I might have to pick this up. I know that I really want to play Cook Serve Delicious 3, but
Yeah.
man, can I not help myself with games like
I don't
this?
care about that. I can sell that.
Although it's not indie, when I played Persona 5 for the first time, I was playing and my roommate had come in and he was like, that game you have sword and like melee weapons and stuff, but you can also have a gun. And so at one point I was fighting this fairy creature and I'm shooting like magical attacks at it or whatever. And then my roommate enters the room and he's like, "What are you playing?" And I just pull out a gun and just shoot this fairy like 5 times rapidly in the face to kill her. And he just thought it was like the most hilarious, like comical timing just because it just looked like a magical game. And then I'm like, no, but let me pull out my fucking shotgun actually.
Oh man, I could literally spend, if I had a 5-day vacation, I could spend every waking second playing Persona 5.
I've never played it.
It's so good. So good.
Atlas just makes a satisfying RPG.
Yeah.
They've perfected it.
I'm so excited for Royal. I really am.
Yeah,
But-
I can't commit the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so much. It's so much time
is.
investment, and there are so many indie games to play.
I know. They said that Royal's new semester actually added 30 hours of gameplay.
I know. That's why it's too much.
But we can jump off of that. But that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, congratulations on beating the boss, Joe. This looks like a cool town area too.
I don't like it. I don't like this town. I hate it actually.
Oh. I forgot that.
Well, you might have convinced me to pick this game up.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Nice.
I bought on.
I did notice that he had a pistol in his inventory as well as a bow. I wonder how the balancing for that works, because I know which one in my mind I would rather have in a combat situation.
Yeah.
The bow, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Clearly.
I will say it feels like ranged is the best way to go currently, because as
In
a
general?
melee character, I'm getting obliterated.
Yeah.
Is there mage class?
Yes,
I
there's
only
mage.
play. Okay, I only play sorceress.
I even in Diablo 3, like witch doctor and actual like sorcerer / mage person themselves, I didn't care for. I'm like, it's not my cup of tea. And any game,
Well, see,
any MMO
I played
play,
Diablo 2.
I just can't do magic.
I can only do it. I don't know why. It's like
guys
if
should
a
team up.
game, if I'm playing a game and it does not have like a major magic element, then I'm like, I don't want to do melee or like bows. I just want to set people on fire and decimate populations with like some sort of poison breath.
Mm.
We got the beginnings of a good squad.
Yes, actually. Oh my god, I would love to like we could totally do a Twitch stream at some point of just like 4 or all 6 of us going in on a really good squad game.
Yeah. Now you just need the rogue with the stabby knives, and you're good.
See, if we're talking squad, then I'm immediately defaulting to
Squad, the actual game.
No, like actually a squad of us playing a game. I'm devoting immediately to support. That's my Overwatch role. That's my anytime that there's a lot of people involved, all I want to do is heal, because I'm like, hey, as long as I keep other people alive, then they've got to keep me alive, and that's enough. I don't need to kill anything. Let's just everybody protect me.
I might actually reset all my points over here.
I'm definitely the type to go in like tank it out, but I will say, like, the more and more as the years go by, I do fall in love more and more with magic. And I really liked the mix in Path of Exile where I could be the Templar.
Yeah, magic tank.
Yeah, magic tank, and same thing with the game I keep bringing up in the podcast, Neo. I pretty much am a magic tank. There's ways to just like, I'm the kind of magic person who will put magic on my weapons and then just have buffs so I can like power through like buffs, like, you know, lower their defense or whatever, or have like spinning swords around me while I'm like plowing through a bunch of enemies. So those are really fun.
That's so good. So in Diablo you would probably go with like Barbarian, because they've got a bit of like that spinning sword stuff.
Spin to win.
That, you know.
Spin to win.
Karen.
So
that sounds like that'd be my motto.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the Barbarian Rend build in Diablo 3 is just spinning, and it's intense.
What character would you jump into, Steve?
Me?
Yeah.
I tend to be more range aspect. So like when I play Diablo, my go-to, if I'm just trying to do a quick build to start farming, I usually go Demon Hunt.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, if I think about every MMO that I've ever played, I almost exclusively go with something bow and arrow oriented. When I played WoW, I was always doing the was it the marksman build? What was the actual class called though? It's been so long since I played. It was the same guy that would be able to do the animals. So long. Yeah, well, WoW's not a good example. But pretty much every MMO I've played, I've just gone Ranger. I think it's just my go-to.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, no, I think we really do actually have a solid team to play a game.
So
like
what all
that.
do we have right now? Ranger, healer, what? And who else?
Ranger, healer, tank, and what do you like to play as?
Honestly, it kind of depends on what the game is.
Right.
So, I'm gonna take WoW for example, because I've played that since the day it came out. I prefer tanking, because if y'all played WoW, the Demon Hunter itself, when that came out, it just kind of fucked tanks over. Because if I can't kill myself, you can't kill me. And that's been my entire aspect about tanking, is becoming an unstoppable unit of a human or whatever race I'm playing. Then you go to a game like League of Legends. I love being support. Tank support. Yeah.
Tank support. Oh, you play who's the Minotaur?
Alistar. Well,
Alistar. Yeah, Alistar.
Not really. I'm a Leona boy.
Braum.
Leona. I don't give a shit about your shield, because my shield's gonna beat you over the head with it. And then in other games, let's say, what's another good example where I play primarily like a damage role? That's kind of hard. Like I don't enjoy doing damage. To me, it's boring. So, I rather either become an unkillable juggernaut or give you enough buffs where you're the unkillable juggernaut, or you do dummy amount of damage numbers and we just walk away. Elemental resistance.
Just look at what I've created.
The true buff support.
Yeah. So I bounce between either tanking or supporting. But I mean, worst case scenario, if I have to do damage, then fuck it, I'll just right click and walk away.
If it's a matter of there being too many supports, I'll always go to my other role, which is always mage, glass cannon, obviously, because
glass cannon.
Because what other way is there to live?
So it sounds like we've got one support, one tank, and 2 DPS. We might as well go raiding.
Yeah. All right. Let's just end it right now.
All right.
I'm going out.
See you guys. We have more important things to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe, for checking in. And I guess we can get back to the end of Indie Pop.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as indie pop's concerned, that was really all I was planning on talking about. So if you're not familiar with game jams, but you have even the slightest interest in any aspect of the game development, whether like I said earlier, even if it's just writing stories or you like to mess around in Photoshop with different image assets, and you're interested in the game development process, go visit the game jam. You don't have to have a team. You don't have to go in with the explicit purpose of making a game. You can just join up with somebody else and use your talents.
Alright,
to
so I
benefit
can't jump
them.
over ledges. That's sad boy hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Hey, do you know any other Steves in the Philly one? I don't know if the Steve that I know still does Game Jam.
So it's interesting that you say that because actually we were with a group where we're convinced there was like 4 Steves all sitting at the same table. So if you were going to tell me, I wouldn't know explicitly, but I know that there was a Steve who was doing art design for a train game. But I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, or if you want to go back and talk to that Steve and ask if his team was working on a train.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna dox anybody. I'm not gonna release last names. But
Are you listening?
But I'll reach out and
let me know.
see
I'm
if they
curious
ended up
because I
working
sat
out.
right across from a Steve who the whole time he was just doing artwork for it was like a game where you're on a train and you're trying to fix it up so that you can jump a gap in the bridge, and you also could like bonk other people on the head with your giant wrench. It was hilarious.
That sounds so good.
I just imagine you as every Steve, like you're just like, oh, sorry, I have a message on my other computer. You turn, put on a different hat and glasses.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Oh,
this is
you want to speak with the manager? Hang on.
yeah. Exactly.
No, it's a popular name apparently in the Philadelphia area in the gaming community because the whole weekend people would be like Steve, and I'd turn and look, and it was not me.
Yeah. Not again.
Well, if it helps, they work along with the PHL Collective, if they're still a thing.
Okay, yeah. So I don't remember hearing that explicitly, so most likely not. But I'm still curious, so let me know if you reach out and you hear anything about what he was working on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, actually, and you just reminded me. So the Game Jam was worked in alignment with a group called the Philly Game Mechanics. So if you are in the
oh yeah, I bet you that's probably what they're a part of now.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, the Philly Game Mechanics are an awesome community. They're very open. They meet, I think it's like once a month, and they hold extended game jams. I forget what the actual term is. I just call it long game jams. But they meet, and anybody can go and just show off what you're working on, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like clubs back in high school, but as an adult.
Yeah, I've definitely been to one of their meetup things.
Okay.
A guy named Greg was showing off the game that he was working on at the time, Wander Song, which is now a real game.
Oh, yeah. I think I know some of the people who worked on Wander Song by proxy, because I think some of them were like Drexel people.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. We're going to have to get the QWERTY group over to Philly Game Mechanics and do like a promo and get people out there.
I totally agree with that. I think that'd be a great idea. I mean, I'm closest, obviously, but
as soon as we've got enough Patreon supporters and they're paying for my plane ticket,
yes,
will get me right out there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, absolutely. Or you can just, there's, I'm sure there's like a train, or maybe one of those guys who like holds like the cart with 2 wheels and pulls you along the whole way.
Yeah, just stick your thumb out on the highway, you'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that's great advice.
Classic. Awesome. Well, that's so cool. I'm so glad that you had a really good time at the Game Jam, and your game came out really well.
Thank you.
And that so much is going on for the future of it.
Yeah,
too.
we'll keep you guys posted about everything. And
please. Well, now you have a platform to do so.
Exactly.
So. And for the last topic, we are going to jump into a mystery section. Yeah. And I'm going to be leading that, as Cam is not here this week. Oh, we didn't even mention that Kenny is also not here this week. I think he's working on a music video that he is directing.
More important
or something.
things to do, right?
Exactly.
Who was that's not here this week?
Kenny and Cam?
Yeah, who? I don't know. Kenny? Doesn't sound familiar.
Doesn't ring a bell. I've never met the guy.
This is the A team, obviously.
Yeah. starting with A for Andres and the rest.
Perfect.
So for my mystery topic, I wanted to throw it over to anime because Cam, in a memory of our dear beloved Cam, I was actually just blasted with the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Have you guys ever heard of that?
It sounds familiar, but no, I've never heard anything more than maybe that name before.
I didn't realize that they are actually, I think, 4 years running.
Oh wow!
What?
But yeah, so
Another
like, let's
subscription
see.
service I need to pay for.
I know, right? Yeah, now
I
entering
have
its 4th year, the Anime Awards. Commitment to commemorating the best of the best is stronger than ever.
Pro tip: if you're looking for a Crunchyroll subscription, subscribe to Verve instead, VRV, because it comes with a Crunchyroll subscription, as well as access to Rooster Teeth content for now until they move on to HBO's platform.
Interesting.
Oh, are they moving to HBO Max?
Yeah, is that the service, I guess, that HBO is launching? Yeah, so Rooster Teeth's content will be on that.
Exactly.
But like their higher quality content, obviously,
Yeah.
not like I imagine not like their audio only podcasts and stuff.
Right. It'll probably be like Ruby and stuff like that.
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, HBO. I could probably go into a whole thing too about HBO Max because it's so interesting how they're like just getting rid of the Go and the Now part of it, and they're basically relaunching their platform. And I don't know if you have to create a new subscription or how they're going to pull people over from their old subscriptions, but HBO Max is the new title for HBO's streaming service, and they're just rebranding themselves.
I like the idea of that. I am 100% right now. I will say I would pay to have HBO. That's one of the few that I would add into my already expansive catalog of subscription services is HBO.
I agree. I mean, I do have it, but it's worth it.
So Crunchyroll released an awards list.
Yes, thank you. So Crunchyroll released an award list for the 2020, and just they have a bunch of categories, but I'm mostly going to highlight the ones that I really I was into and I've heard stuff about, and then I will actually just also list probably all of the ones that I don't talk about. But basically, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have like 20 categories for best ofs.
Nice.
Starting with anime of the year, which I totally agree with, was Demon Slayer. And I don't know if you guys heard of or saw Demon Slayer, but it was a really, really good anime that came out last year that the beginning was like this really beautiful slow burn, this training burn, where it's just the main character finds his whole family murdered by a demon, except for his one sister who was actually being turned into a demon, because the demons in this show are basically like vampires. And but she has such strong will that she stays like mostly human, like her, like the human nature of her, like she's not going to kill anyone, she's not going to try to eat anyone. So it's the two of them traveling together and trying to find a cure for her. But it has a very beautiful old Japanese like aesthetic to it, and I feel like a lot of people are really into that aesthetic. Everyone has an awesome coat and clothes, and it's one of those shows that's very well silhouetted. Like if you like took every character and just made them a silhouette, like their silhouette would be very recognizable, you know. And also you could do one of those like where you just break it down to like 3 main colors that are in their palette, and you could probably tell who's who as well. Like I love shows like that are very iconic or recognizable characters. But Demon Slayer was really good. Best protagonist, I actually haven't seen Dr. Stone, but the main character Senku from Dr. Stone got best protagonist. And I've heard a lot of good things. I don't know too much about it, but I have heard that it is a show that will go into like specific medical things. Like it is factual, some like in itself, almost like a Bear Grylls sort of way. And then best.
Can I jump in just for a second
absolutely.
here?
Go for it.
you're just so good at talking about all of this that I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm following along with you on their website right now, and all of these have links of like where you can go of going to watch the episodes on Crunchyroll. So
do that?
yeah, all of the nominees.
Nice.
And Demon Slayer specifically is something that I saw, or
Yes.
I didn't watch, but I saw the artwork, and I am an awful person, so I always judge what I'm gonna watch in terms of anime by whatever the artwork looks like. And that one, I just can't stop looking at it. I'm so interested in everything.
Oh my god, I couldn't recommend Demon Slayer more. And I will say this one thing: if you're new to Demon Slayer and you're watching it, there is an episode where they introduce the two other main characters that you see on every poster, and one of them is like a crazy aggro type of character that's like Bakugo from My Hero, but like maybe even more insane. And the other one is like a big baby, and he's just like a crybaby who cries about literally everything and whines and cries. And my theory is that it's fun for the voice actor. Like, my theory is that it's like a really fun character to play, and that he does a lot of fun voices with it. But to watch the character, it is so frustrating because you're just like, please, just shut up, stop crying. And even everyone in the show is like, you're so pathetic, please stop crying. And I know that's going to be the basis of his character forever, but hopefully he just gets a little better over time. But they introduce those two characters in the same episode, so you're not overwhelmed by one or the other. And then they also introduce that both of those characters will grow and change by the end of the season.
I
so that's
like
always
all
promising.
of that. That sounds great.
Yeah. And have either of you guys heard of Dr. Stone either?
No.
I'm sure I've heard of it. My roommate is very big into anime stuff, so he's always aware of like whatever the best animes around are.
Right. Exactly. And I had an intern about a year ago that actually also told me a lot about like how anime seasons work and like sort of just the popular culture behind like monitoring anime like that, which is really interesting. But okay, so moving on to best antagonist. I also have not seen The Promised Neverland, but I have heard a lot about it, and I'll also get into how I know more about anime in a sec. But The Promised Neverland, I think it's a show about these three kids who are in like an orphanage, and they're like basically being taken care of by a Nurse Ratched almost type of like evil nanny character. And I've heard that this show is actually very scary. Like it's a really good suspenseful like jump scare anime that I don't see too much of, or at least I don't hear too much of that is done really well. So I'm really excited to check out The Promised Neverland to like actually watch something that might make me jump.
That's really cool.
But the Isabella, who's the caretaker character, I think she got best antagonist. So that's something to look forward to. Best boy and best girl were also categories. I really love the best boy winner because it's Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, and he really is like such a good boy. I just
gotta pat his head and tell him. You just gotta pat his head and let him know.
I know, yeah. I just want to like pat his head and tell him how proud I am of him because he's like one of those characters. He's so well written in the sense that you just like he's such a good hero. Like he just makes you really root for him. He's like I love seeing a hero that is really well rounded. They have like a really good heart, and it's not just like they're not building up to be an anti-hero. He just is a genuinely good, loving character. And sometimes you worry like there's going to be a lot of weird subtext with like the relationship between him and his sister, but he just like it's true sibling love that is just like very wholesome and very cute, and I just love their relationship in the show as well. So best boy Tanjiro, amazing.
Nice.
Best girl, I have not seen The Rise of the Shield Hero, but I've heard good things.
I have seen an episode of it. I can't tell you what it's about, but I have seen it.
Was it good?
I enjoyed watching it. I would probably watch it again.
Nice. Do you know the character Raphtalia?
I couldn't tell you, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to interject because I was so excited that I've actually seen anything
actually seen one of them.
that was nominated or won.
That's perfect. Yeah, I don't know what her deal is in that show, but if she's the best girl, I believe it. Uh, there's a Best Director award, which I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say their name. Just look it up because I'm gonna get it wrong. And they were the director for Attack on Titan season 3. So I've heard great things about Attack on Titan season 3. I've heard that there was a lull in season 2 and it came back stronger. So good job to them. Hats off. Best animation, and I have to, I can't agree with this more, is Mob Psycho 100 Part 2, which if you guys don't watch Mob Psycho, you have to give it a try because it's hilarious. It's so goofy in their animation. It's just really it's really playful with color and style, and it's all about psychic powers. So they have a lot of different ways to show that, and it's made by Studio Bones, which made One Punch Man, and I feel like it has now surpassed One Punch Man in terms of quality.
This is another one where I'm looking at the cover artwork or whatever, and I'm like, I need to watch this right now.
And I'm gonna jump ahead to Best Opening Sequence, also getting won by Mob Psycho 100 Part 2, because their opening sequence for season 2 was so cool. It's like this really, it's just so eclectic, and it really speaks to the heart of the show about how the show is really weird like that. The show really makes you love the characters. They do such a good job of making almost everyone redeemable and fleshing out what makes them tick and what makes them be in the position they are. And even Mob. So I think the best thing that makes Mob better than Saitama from One Punch Man is that he can go OP and he can do one-shot kills, but to get to that level, he loses a part of himself. And as he's growing as a person and he loves the connections he's making with other human beings, he sees that losing himself is only going to hurt those relationships. So it's really cool how he's actually managing the OP power and also his relationships. And you really feel for the guy. So it's such a good show. It's really come a long way. And it's only in season 2. I think that they do end after season 3 though. Mob definitely has an ending, which I love that too. I love things having definitive endings. They're going towards a definite stop. There was a best character design, which I don't know Dororo, but congratulations to them for best character design for Satoshi. Best score got won by Carol and Tuesday. And I feel like that one might be an anime that is even more accessible to people who aren't huge anime fans. I think I need to look this up, but Carol and Tuesday either has been attributed to having a vibe like Cowboy Bebop or from the creators of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, that's really cool.
But it is it's a musical movie, I believe, and it just got a lot of really good traction because of its story and the visuals and the music in it as well. They also won another thing. Did they win another thing? Oh, I think they've actually just gotten nominated for a lot of the other awards. But Carol and Tuesday is available on Netflix, I believe, and definitely worth the watch. Best fight scene was again Demon Slayer. That was Tanjiro and Nezuko, which are the brother and sister main characters. When they first team up and you see them use their powers in tandem, it's fucking bonkers. It's such a good fight scene. And I'm obsessed with good fight scenes. Like the fight scene in Castlevania, the animated series, the ending of season 1, he fights Dracula's son and Alucard, and then there's a fight scene in season 2 where the three of them team up, and it's just when it goes well, it just goes so well. Every beat, you're just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So I don't know. I love good fight scenes. Um, Best couple. Actually, this show Love Is War got a lot of different awards. Um,
Yeah, I'm
I
seeing that now.
don't. Yeah, yeah. And wait, let's see. They got best couple, they got best ending sequence, and they got best comedy. So, that's really good for them. I've heard good things about Love Is War. And I'm assuming it's damn, I can't remember the name of the category of type of anime, but like the rom-com animes or the romantic types of animes. But yeah, so congratulations to Love Is War for those categories. There was a best voice acting performance. Japanese voice acting went to a character in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the newest season. And then for the English voice acting was again Rise of the Shield Hero. Promise Neverland won Best Fantasy, which is from the studio Cloverworks, which I didn't mention before.
And
then
they won another thing, right? They won best antagonist.
yes, they won Best Antagonist. Yeah. So Best Fantasy and Best Antagonist. So I will. Promise Neverland is definitely on my list. Of all of these, Promise Neverland. I might not watch Love Is War unless I get like some specific thing that I need to look at for that.
I'll watch it because it's a comedy and that sounds great.
Yeah, there you go. And best drama. I haven't seen Vinland Saga, but the company that makes it, Wit Studio, they also do Attack on Titan. So Vinland Saga has been doing well, and the Industry Icon Award went to the president of that studio.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So everything's connected. And I guess honorary mention goes to Agretsuko, which is that Netflix anime about the panda, like the red panda that screams karaoke.
I know that one. Yeah.
I want to see that.
I've heard good things, and I tried watching the first episode, and I wasn't into it. But I'm like so bad about that, watching a pilot and just being like, eh.
Oh, same.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So like they were nominated in a bunch of categories that I saw around. So kudos to them. And I think that is pretty much it. Oh, hey, and then we got one more rolling.
I am back from the dead.
Hello. Did you hear any of my bits about anime?
Not an anime person.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, how is your stream going?
Nerd.
You nerd.
It's weeb. Thank you.
No, he's the nerd for not liking anime. What a nerd.
Not my cup of tea. Nerd. There's only one anime I've watched from beginning to end, and that was Angel Beats, and that's it.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Man, the anime that I want another season to come of is sorry to interject, but The Devil is a Part-Timer. I need a second season.
I've heard really good things about that too.
Oh.
But anyway, back to Roland.
Yeah, back to Roland. How's the game? Oh, is this a boss?
No, this is just a little off area. I have a big ass sword.
You do?
I saw.
I'm looking at it. I'm jealous of it.
Does it make berserking easier?
No.
It looks like almost like a water effect on it when he's walking, but I know it's just a static.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Oh,
Ghost
I
Hammer,
will then
I love.
throw in another nerdy weeby anime thing. In Demon Slayer, the main character uses water breathing techniques, so his sword will be covered in water, and he has like 7 or 10 breathing techniques that all do like different ways and shapes of water as to how he would attack.
You hear that, Joe? You just need to breathe.
Exactly. Just breathe.
Can I have this instead? No, apparently not.
Not enough stamina.
Oh no.
Whatever. No.
You always need
You
stamina.
be.
Well, I have 4 stamina. I don't know if I get more or not. I hope I get more because it's just annoying.
I would never think of stamina as something with like a low number because I associate it with Diablo where you're running and as you run you lose stamina.
And then it replenishes.
Right, and you're like, oh, I've got 8,000 stamina, and now I need to replenish for a while because I don't have
I
it.
have 4.
Right. 4 stamina just as a max sounds like a very low number, just from what I'm used to doing. That was a crazy visual thing that just happened on your stream.
With all the him going through the walls or something.
Yeah.
Is the stamina associated with skill usage in this game?
No, just abilities. I don't know. That's what you
Yeah,
meant.
okay, yeah.
Oh, hey. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
All right, come on, heathens.
It's essentially
So
your
what
mana
is-
for your ability.
Yeah. So I don't know if I get more.
Okay.
I hope I do.
Well, like,
He has problems.
do you know much about the weapons in this game? Like, is it all to some degree melee based, or like are there characters that are exclusively magic based, so they have like a wand and their wand is a ranged attack?
I don't really know because I have a big ass axe. Well, I had a big ass mace. Now I have a big ass sword. I should probably get out
All right,
of here.
fair enough. I mean, I saw that, we saw that there was like the pistol and the
Yeah, I presume that's for the range
bow.
classes. Can this
but like,
fucker die?
I'd like to just fire. I just want to shoot fireballs at
I mean-
things. I
Right.
think I've made this very clear.
Let
by
me
now.
catch up. I just picked up a staff, which I think I can use
I
because
see.
it lets me equip it.
Oh, do you get to whack people with
I
the
don't
staff?
know. I have a god sword pretty much, so it's just gonna go back on the ground and I'm gonna forget it exists.
Yeah, no, you're gonna drop the white common
Yeah.
item and continue to
I'm
use.
already
your
treating this like
god
Diablo,
sword.
where if it's white, it's not right. White's not right for me.
Hey, here.
Who's bot?
Here.
There's a little boss up here. Hello, boys. Let me come tickle that.
Do you have it now? Do you have a final rating on the game as with all of that you've played so far?
So far before I fucking die, because I'm getting yeeted. That was not a good idea. Why did I do that? Please hold. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck. This is my last
Oh,
token in
man.
this area. Fuck.
I sure hope that his rating is to recommend purchasing.
I do recommend it,
So,
but I'm just saying this now. Don't get angry when you can't connect, because it took me 20 minutes to connect.
Right.
And, what is this?
if you're telling me not to get angry, you're talking to the wrong guy. But
AKA most of us. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. I hope that people do definitely get into it and then maybe jump on Discord and tell us what they think about the game. Other than that, we were actually just about to jump into our outro because I think that is all the topics that we have for today. Hey, there it comes. So, and there's no game stuff this week because we have so much to talk about. But if you still want to continue listening to us, you can always check out the other episodes of our podcast. So thank you for tuning in. If you want to talk to us and or support us, we're on Discord, Twitter, and Patreon as Qwertycast or ::Qwertycast. We're also on Acast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. If you want to also go old school and email us, we're at QWERTYCastmail@gmail.com. Any other final words from you guys?
you should check out Roland's stream, Joe's stream,
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
ROLENTH on Twitch. If there's anybody else that wants their name to be shouted out so that you can locate them on social medias, please speak now or hold your peace until the next podcast that you're on.
Exactly.
I'm FlickSwat anywhere there's gaming related stuff, and I will leave my social medias as private as they are by not talking about them right now.
Yeah.
And I'm Bean Sparrow, but
mean-
typically, if you want to get in touch with me, just join the Discord.
There you go. And I have a bunch of different names, so let's just stick with Discord. At QWERTYcast out?
Qwertycast out.
QWERTYcast out.
QWERTYcast out! Awesome.
Let me stop
All right,
this recording.
pausing. Stop.